Here we go again.
Yeah. Take one.
Only once.
Only once. That's how you know it's good. Because, I'll tell you what. If you're watching this and you're like, wow, they have low energy. That's because the first time we did this, it didn't come out.
Yes.
So we did it again.
Yeah.
This is the second time.
This is second time.
Hi! Today's Bacon is my podcast. I will mention is being brought to you by GrillYourAssOff.com, DrinkWildBills.com, and Poddex.com, where you can get 10% off your entire order just by using the promo code BACON at checkout.
And also, you can check out Manscaped.com, use the promo code BACONPOD, get 20% off, get free shipping, keep those marbles shiny.
Keep them clean.
Be confident. Save the balls. That's what we're doing. We're saving the balls.
Save all balls.
Your balls will thank you.
They will thank you.
Indeed. So, today we've got a person from Australia, a person from a band that I enjoy, a person who has just recently moved to the U.S. from Australia to be a songwriter.
In L.A.
In L.A.
Alex from Hands Like Houses.
Indeed. And it's a really cool conversation.
Yeah, he's going to be a lot of fun. You guys are going to enjoy it. We go through songwriting, we go through gear, but we also go through like mac and cheese and dirty water dogs and like sexy names, all kinds of fun stuff. So
Indeed.
It's a good one. He's cool. We got along with him really well. And, he's another one.
He's another one.
He's
Bromance.
He's another bromance. I like him. I think he's cool.
He also he drinks the cucumber and lime Gatorade,
Lime pepino,
which is awesome. Like I love cucumber flavor. It's delicious.
That cucumber Gatorade is pretty great.
Is a sight to behold, a taste to behold. Is that a thing?
Sure, I can behold the taste.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well.
So behold a taste of this interview, starting
right now. That what? Okay.
Bacon! Bacon is my podcast! Bacon! Bacon is my... Bacon! Bacon is my podcast! Bacon! Bacon is my...
All right, guys, we're going to take a quick time out. We want to tell you all about our awesome sponsor, Manscaped. Manscaped.com. We've been telling you about them since the beginning of the year. We've been users for years. But now they've put out the new Ultra Premium Collection. And what the Ultra Premium Collection includes is a 2-in-1 shampoo conditioner, a body wash, a hydrating body spray, deodorant, and lip balm. And what you do is you go to the shopping cart.
Yep.
You put all your things in there.
Yep.
And when you're done, you use the promo code BACONPOD, and you get 20% off and free shipping.
I'm going to stop for 1 second, and I'm just going to let you guys know that I've actually been using this stuff for the last 2 weeks. I got my order 2 weeks ago, and I've been using it every day. And so I'm just going to give you a super fast review. The shampoo conditioner is awesome. My hair feels great. It doesn't feel dry. It's not loaded down. It's not weighted down. And it actually feels really good. The body wash is awesome. It lathers up really great. I use a very little bit of it. I'm kind of like a sponge guy, so I'll put it on the sponge, loofah, or whatever you want to call it. And it's awesome. The surprise for me has been the body spray. It's really awesome. I never used anything like that before. I got it and I was like, what's this gonna do? I'll tell you what, as a person with tattoos, man, my arms feel dry every now and then. And sometimes for you that have tattoos, you understand that like when it gets dry, you start to feel like a raised up area for where your tattoo was. This actually, it smells great and it feels great and it keeps you hydrated. My hands, my arms, my tattoos, that's what I've really used it on. I haven't done the whole body or anything like that. I do use all the other products. I use the crop preserver. I use the foot spray at night. I don't use it during the day because it
The
might
Reviver
leave
as
your
well
feet wet.
for a midday spritz.
Yeah, 100%.
That is not included in this, but
The wipes are key.
you can
all
use
this stuff.
Here we go. Here we go. We got the wipes too.
Yep.
You can use all this stuff, and you can get 20% off on all of these things. And of course, their flagship Lawnmower 4.0, which I was skeptical. I had the 3.0.
Mm-hmm.
They gave us a 4.0. I was like, how much better could it be?
It's better.
It's way better.
I've nicked my sack on the
0
3.0.
times.
And I've nicked my sack 0 times on the 4.0.
Right. So go ahead, go to manscaped.com, use the promo code BACONPOD, get 20% off, get free shipping, and support a really awesome brand that we believe in, and support the show a little bit.
It's really good, guys. I don't care. If it's not good, I'd tell you because I don't care.
Right. So
It doesn't matter to me. But honestly, like, I'd use this stuff whether we had a discount or not. And I use our promo discount because that's what we have. So have the same discount that we do.
Indeed.
And go over to manscaped.com and use BaconPod as your discount.
Hey, this is Jacques Lamour from Pop Punk and Pizza Podcast. I'm from Chicago, Illinois, and you've been consuming Bacon is My Podcast. Or in my case, pizza is my bacon. Or bacon on my pizza, or something like that. But anyway, you've been listening to Bacon is My Podcast.
Radio voice engaged.
Oh, shit.
Hey, welcome to Bacon is My Podcast.
That's sultry.
The only podcast. I lost it.
I
lost it.
Where you going?
I don't know where I was going, but what's up, everybody? Welcome to Bacon is My Podcast. We are here. We are joined by guitar player, songwriter, craft mac and cheese enthusiast, Alex Pearson.
Craft with a K, not
Right.
with a C.
Well, right.
He's not at home crafting mac and cheese.
No.
Well, I'm a bit of an artist when it comes to mac and cheese.
Oh, all right.
Okay. Well, so is this guy. We'll get into that.
We'll talk about
Ladies
it.
and gentlemen, Mr. Alex Pearson from Hands Like Houses. What's going on, man?
How are we, boys? What's happening?
Doing great.
How's as you can hear, he's got a bit of an accent. He is from Australia.
Either that or we have accents.
We have accents, yes.
Depending
But
on where you're listening from.
he just moved to LA.
I did.
How's things in LA now?
So I think I've just ticked over maybe like just 2 months, I think.
Okay.
There's definitely been a few interesting hiccups along the way. But LA's great. It's fantastic. I have this sort of like a group chat with friends, and there's this constant phrase we throw around of just being like, you can't be mad because every day you just look outside and the weather's perfect. And
Right.
I still have that like romanticizing of like palm trees and Los Angeles. So until that fades, I'll be good. And then like if we do this in a year's time, I'll be some haggard beast of
Just jaded.
Jaded and
Jaded and angry.
that's awesome. So you moved there to pursue a little bit more of songwriting, right?
Yeah. So it was like Australia. Obviously the whole world was hit with COVID, and then travel kind of shut down, and everyone was obviously freaking out, and like governments were putting all these like bans on travel and restrictions and blah blah. It kind of came at like a fortuitous time ish for us in the band because we'd been basically like touring internationally for like 8 to 10 years, like 8 months out of the year. So it was like getting to a point where it was like, this is a nice break. But then I think there was like, I feel like everyone probably had the same thought of being like, oh, this would be done in like 2 weeks. Like this is like a month long thing.
Right.
And then being like 2.5 years into it, I was like, holy shit, this is actually intense. So then there was
weeks.
yeah, I know. And then there was like some easing of restrictions, and I was like, I think now is the time to kind of get back overseas and do more songwriting because obviously that's what like I enjoy. And yeah, here I am.
That's awesome.
Chasing a couple of dreams.
Nice.
That's the place
That's
to do
that's
it,
what
man.
you do. That's what you do. Chase dreams in a nice place.
Yeah. We're chasing dreams. We're just we're in New York.
Yeah, we're just
It's not less than nice place.
New York's cool. New York's got the same.
Yeah.
same
It's cool. It's not as
It's
nice,
cool.
but
it's
is
not
cool.
as nice, but it's cool.
Yeah.
It's usually chilly.
It's not as easy to wake up every day and just like, how can you be mad?
Yeah, you wake up and like, you fucking asshole.
Yeah, you wake up and you're like, there's so many reasons to be mad.
Yes.
I've actually got I've got a friend out here, and he's from New York.
Okay.
And like, I think he's acclimatized to kind of like living on the West Coast. He's a lot like calmer, except for when he starts like have a few drinks, and then he becomes like full loud boy in New York with like he's like staunching around the room. And just, like,
is he like Olive Garden Italian tough guy? Like, hey, oh, hey, kind of
I
New
think
York?
that like blends in a tiny little bit.
Yeah, I think most of those guys stay in New York.
Yeah, so his family is apparently a lot like that.
Okay.
He's kind of like a much more like calm, watered down version until tequila comes around, and then it kind of gets
drinks. Yeah, I have a couple friends. I have a couple friends out there that are the same way.
It's actually quite entertaining. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just humorous.
As long as he's not getting you into fights, it's
No. Absolutely not. I'm not a fighter. No way.
Well, no, songwriters aren't really fighters by
known
trade.
for our fighting prowess,
especially guitar players, because we're like, nah, my hands.
Yeah, exactly.
I have delicate, not in the face. That's my battle cry. Someone wants to fight me, I'm like, not in the face.
It's like Anchorman.
Yeah, exactly.
So what kind of stuff are you working on here? Like, obviously, Hands Like Houses, you guys are kind of calming down a little bit, taking a little bit of a...
we just had a kind of like a chat the other night. And so like I've been working on a bunch of demos. So we're going to kind of like start brainstorming how we might funnel those into like releasing, whether it's going to be like an EP or an album or something like that. But then aside from that, it's like, I love everything we can do in Hands Like Houses. It's great. But it's nice to kind of like explore everything. So it's like, I was literally writing like a country song the other day, then was working with on some pop stuff. Then I went back and was like writing some like riffs, and it's just kind of like a very like, you just kind of, as like obviously a songwriter and like trying to learn as much about production, it's like whoever wants to write something, you'd be like, let's do it.
Right.
Yeah.
I've been asked this a bunch of times as a songwriter, so I always like to find it from other people too. Like when you're writing and you're going in and out of different styles, do you find any styles particularly tougher to kind of like get into the vibe of when you're like learning like the things that go like there's a certain thing that lends itself to a pop song, to a country song, to a rock song that is common between all of them. But then there's like the stylistic choices and things like that. Were there any that were particularly kind of challenging for you?
Yeah. So like pop, country, and rock, I feel like all have like within reason like similarities.
Yeah.
Like everyone's looking for like a big chorus and blah blah blah.
Right.
Then when you get into like, I guess sort of like hip hop would be definitely a challenge for me. Mm-hmm. I don't really understand like trap music, like 808s. I'm kind of just getting like my head around. It's not necessarily my first like go-to.
Right.
But like, like I had this like weird song that I was working on the other day, and it was kind of like getting towards maybe being like rap. So it was, I feel like I'm entering that world, but like it's definitely not my first preference or choice. Like I'm much more like a pop kind of guy.
How are you approaching songs? Like, do you kind of mess with do you have a laptop with Logic or whatever?
So I use Logic predominantly. I'm also like learning Pro Tools at the same time, and then I just run it through. I got that latest like MacBook M1 Ritz and Glitz, whatever it is. Right. Superhuman computer, which is going great. It was actually a massive ball ache at the start, but like I got my head around it. And then I used to be a lot more, obviously being a guitarist, and then within like Hands Like Houses, I was kind of focused on like approaching the song from being like, okay, so guitar, like everywhere. And then when we started recording with a bunch of different producers and working with different writers, you kind of realize that it's like the more stuff you put in, the less space that you have for like vocals, and majority of people are attached to the vocals. So that was kind of the point where I started like reassessing and like focusing a lot more on like actual songwriting as a whole, rather than being like, this is sick guitar. So now it's like literally, I reckon almost every single song I write, regardless of it being like a heavy song, pop song, whatever it is, like it always starts on like acoustic, and there'll be some kind of like vocal melody going along with whatever's happening, or like a phrasing or a cadence or some kind of like lyric to attach to. They kind of go hand in hand.
That's actually something that, you know, anybody who listens to Hands Like Houses, you could see that progression. Did that kind of happen fairly recently? Like,
I feel like as I was saying it, I was like, oh, people are gonna be fucking butthurt for sure.
No.
We talk about it a lot in like, because you're right, and I feel like people may brand it or like approach it in different ways, like as you kind of like span across like our albums. And like we were always trying to like do something different, which is to some degree like fun. Some people like, you know what I mean? It's hard when you don't, like if you're constantly evolving, people aren't necessarily always ready for it. But I think it's better to kind of like push the envelope than just be continuously comfortable.
Yeah.
But yeah, after that first album especially, it was like I was listening to it the other day. I think this year is like, or maybe it's next year, is like 10 years of that album. And we were talking about potentially doing some kind of touring around it or something like that. And I was like, I'll go back and listen to the songs. And I was just like, this is fucking chaos. Like there's like so much going on. And it's like, that was like, I feel like it's very, for me, like I appreciate that album so much. Like it opened so many doors, but it's very much like of a time. And it just reminds me of like all the influences of that time. And then now, it's like we went to this one producer, James Paul Wisner, and he was very much like, how does this like piece together? Like, where's the chorus? Like, where's the hook? Like, where's a point that like I can latch onto as a listener? Whereas I feel like that album especially is very much like, I think a lot of like musicians would enjoy it. A lot of like Johnny Craig style vocalists enjoy it. Like it has that kind of like that space, which was so perfect to give us a platform and like start off our career. But then, you know, people like grow and change, and I don't know, you have like different hopes and aspirations. You want to get songs as like the WWE fucking theme song, and like we do something like that, and you want to have like songs on fucking Saturday night or Friday Night Football, whichever one it was. And that needs to be a little bit more like in a specific lane. So you have to kind of compromise. And
well, if you're a music listener, let your bands that you love try things.
Right. Don't be so like douchey. You said. Don't get butthurt.
So douchey about it.
Because
my thing is like you can sit there and like, I love feedback, and I would prefer if the feedback is like brutally honest. It doesn't mean you have to be like an asshole, but it's like, you know, you sit there and be like, look, this just isn't that good, and you go, okay, I can listen to that. But if you say this just isn't that good, I'm never listening to your band again. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, I think you need some therapy. Like, I didn't know English songs could like break your whole like internal.
Yeah, don't care about any band that much.
Right.
Is that what I'm saying?
Don't care about any band that much. Well, no, it's anything that people. It's funny that you bring it up, because like we talked with somebody recently that one of the questions we asked them was like, what's something that you don't understand how passionate people, like you see them get super passionate about it, but you don't get it. And they were like, oh, like sports is one thing. And that was theirs. Is it was like, I see people getting into sports and they're like, if their team loses, it ruins their week and stuff. And we were like, man, like nothing should matter that much. Like nothing. There shouldn't be anything.
But then I think it's like, that's, it's hard because I think a lot of in like this sort of like Hands Like Houses, Warped Toury. Like I'm not really sure how you kind of brand the world at the moment. Fans attached to bands when you're going through like growth or trauma or some kind of situation, and 9 times out of 10 it's like that album or song you really, and I have like so many of those songs that I associate with a very specific point in my life, and then you like don't necessarily want that moment to change. So it feels like when the band changes, that moment doesn't necessarily have as much importance to you maybe, but it's just
but it's still there.
But you know what? You know what though?
Put it on.
You can always go back and listen to it. I'm just trying to rationalize. I constantly have.
And you know what? We should all be moving forward too. You know, like we should all be able to do that and say,
well, see,
"Hey, I'm at a new point now."
This is like, and like, I'm not saying like, you know, I liked your last couple records. Like, I enjoyed them. I'm a big fan. But like, you kind of brought up that people are butthurt about changing stylistically and stuff like that. The problem is that if you support the band and you still go see them live, they're not pulling like a whole 180 going, fuck that. We're not playing those songs. We're playing
You're still going to hear them all.
Like, there are bands that do that. Like, you know, Silverchair did that. But like Radiohead did that. Like, but you guys didn't do that.
And this is the funny thing. Like, I feel like I have to like clarify a point because I don't want people to look back at it. And
Wait, you don't. We're not going to be clickbaity. We're not.
But like, like with this like evolution of like, you know what I mean? Like while there's always going to be literally whatever you release, there'll be people on YouTube predominantly being like, fuck you guys.
Right.
You go to reality and it's like, oh, like our fan base, like live fan base has doubled. We're getting like high rotation on radio stations in Australia. Then we're pushing with like rock radio and like satellite radio in America. And it's like, and people, you know, like just don't necessarily like make those comparisons. So they won't be like, oh, okay, I can see that they're having growth. Like, I understand. They just sit there and be like, you're not playing a breakdown for me right now.
Well, you know, the fact that
my band
if anyone's
putting money in your pocket is not cool.
That is not cool.
All.
But there's literally there's rarely money in pockets. I feel like it constantly cycles through when you go like back into.
I mean, we all know that if you got into music to make money, then you are a bad decision maker.
It's just a poor investment.
That is not.
It's too much say it all the time.
Move.
We make music.
We make
music. Yeah, we make music to not drive off bridges.
Yes, that's why we write songs.
Yeah,
we have to.
Exactly.
If you can choose to do something else, you do.
Sometimes you just get stuck in it. Yeah.
One thing I want to like come back to, because you talked about how you work with Logic and stuff like that, and I actually have never done it, and I don't know why I haven't done it, but a lot of the guitar tones on Anon, your last full length record, you used some of the built-in amps in Logic.
Yeah, we did.
That's pretty cool.
Like almost like all of those songs, like or like a bunch of those songs, like I had like demos for, and it was, I don't know how much people picked up on it, but it was like, at least from like where I was coming from, a lot of like kind of like 90s influenced stuff. And there's like this weird thing of I feel like it's even more apparent now of like a guitar sounding shit and then it's like cool. Like, and so we like this crazy like Friedman amp or like whatever it was running through like all these crazy pedals, and then we'd have like my like stock Logic with like stock Logic pedals, whatever it was, like tone to get the idea across, and we'd be like A-Bing between them. And I remember I actually just met up with the engineer the other night. We were talking about it as well. I'm sitting there for like 3 hours trying to replicate some kind of like chorus flange, whatever it was. And he goes, fuck me. Like the Logic thing that you've got is just better. Like, let's just fucking run with that. So it's, and I think that's the thing that people can get lost in a lot is, like you should have to, because you have all this crazy gear, like you should have to use it or should have to do this. And it's like, whatever kind of like serves the song, whatever serves the part. I think that's the beauty of, especially at the moment, and more it's again becoming more apparent, is like bedroom producers releasing like crazy records, especially within the pop world. And it's how did you make this? And it's like, I beatboxed, I hummed into the microphone, and I used GarageBand. And you're just like, what the fuck?
And I had an SM58.
Right. Yeah.
Well, it's amazing.
I was 58 up until I moved to America, actually. Then I was like, I probably need a better vocal microphone than this.
You can get really, really good sounds from so many different things. And I think as guitar players, we tend to get a little too heady about it sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, like I remember when my current band, our first couple records, our drummer produced, and we recorded ourselves, and he engineered, and all we had was an old kidney-shaped pod, and we got all the guitar tones and all the bass tones and ran vocals through the kidney pod. And we tried miking amps. We tried put an amp in the bathroom and mic it and get the great natural reverb, and let's put mics on the other side. We tried all that stuff, and it was like, man, we put like this, the kidney pod Marshall and a kidney pod clean amp together, and there was a bunch of fuzz and a bunch of articulation, and it sounded really great. So we're going to use that.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the record. That's going to be it.
Definitely.
And if it sounds good, it sounds good, man. You know, like.
I know. And then also with obviously like people's attention spans, like songs like 2.5 minutes, it's like, just fucking go for it. Like, it's great because now at the moment it's like you can release more music than ever, like as easily as possible to as many people, and it's kind of just like, don't get in your own way.
Yeah. And write a good song. It doesn't matter how great your guitar tone is if the song is shit.
Right.
Yes. That's the hard part.
Well, yeah, that's the dragon we're all chasing. So.
That's great that you can sweep, but can you write me a great pop song? Can you write me a great?
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Where's the hook?
Yeah. I can't sing that sweep.
Yeah.
my drummer pisses off my guitar player consistently because he's like, "Oh man, when you do the solo, can you do the? Are you going to do the turkey gobble thing in the middle of it? Are you going to do the?" And he's like, "Dude,
does Chris actually do
fuck
that?
you, man." Yeah,
that's amazing.
Totally does.
That is amazing.
That's fantastic.
I was like, you want people to sing your solos, man. That's what they do. Sing me Sweet Child of Mine solo right now. And you can. And he's like, no, man, I like the.
That's amazing. Actually, so I saw you guys at the Knitting Factory in Brooklyn a little while ago. And I was talking to Matt and at the merch booth. He said that it was like one of your first tours with using Kempers and all that kind of stuff. Are you officially a convert, especially like, you know, you're traveling back and forth, that kind of stuff?
Dude, very much. Like I won't. I'm like, especially me, like not like super gear savvy. And so like ease of like understanding, ease of transport, ease of load in and load out. Cause it's like, I'm trying to get straight to merch, or like I've had a few fucking drinks and I don't want to pick up like a whole combo or like whatever.
Right.
Thing. But we've got like so I don't know, we've had a couple of different Kempers, but now we've got the like all-in-one foot switch, like the floorboard version. And it's like, I can go on tour at the moment with like a Pelican case for my like Kemper and then like a guitar and be totally fine. And it's still like, out the front. Like, I mean, it's great for us. Like our sound guy, he loves it even more because he can control way more.
You're consistent everywhere.
It's consistent everywhere. So yeah, I think it's a full game changer. Yeah. Obviously, when you play like bigger venues, like it's kind of like nicer to have a little bit more oomph on stage. We've got like really good in-ears. We got like I haven't had them in my ears for like 2 years, so I can't remember what they're called.
Right.
But they have like, you know, it's like the top of the line, so it's like you can kind of like semi-feel stuff. And it's all, like we kind of just decided we're going to go for it and then stick with that. So it's. Do you
guys mic the crowd as well? So in your in-ears you get crowd response?
Yeah, you can put a bit of crowds in there. So that's the one awkward thing when like the crowds go down and it's just like in between songs, dead silence. And you're like,
yeah, that's I tried. I had in-ears for one tour, and that was the weirdest thing in the world for me. Was like not hearing any. I had to pop one out, and like I wasn't doing like I mean, we're talking like bars and club tours, you know, like in a van and stuff. So it wasn't anything that was crazy, but still, I had to pop one out and was like, this is so weird.
When we first got like even like the first version of in-ears, I think we were probably all using like the little Shure ones or whatever it was, and I was just like, "Fuck this!" Like I never want it. Like I want to hear my amp, and then
give me a wedge.
I kind of just sit there and be like, "Okay, actually, now you know what you're playing. Like you can hear exactly what you want. You're not as good a live guitarist as you thought you were." You go, okay, cool.
Right.
And then it kind of like it just makes everyone tighter, so it's good.
Yeah.
That's one thing I found, like with even with the last show that we did, is just like we practice all in ears, and that made a lot of difference when, you know, we only played, you know, a couple weeks before the actual show. We didn't have an actual bass player. I never played the guitar for most of these songs and sang at the same time, but like it was cool because everybody kept me in check, and they were like, "Hey, you don't play that very well. You should probably tighten that up, buddy." So it made me get a little bit better, for sure.
Yeah, no, it's a good thing for sure. It's just an expensive thing, but again, you need to invest into the product. So,
how was your learning curve switching over to a Kemper? Was it like when you first got it? You said you're not very tech savvy.
Yeah. Oh my god, it was like opening up a fucking spaceship. I was just like, what is happening? So lots of YouTube tutorials. YouTube is like my university for like everything.
Right.
I'll just sit there and like type in like whatever I need to know and watch like hours and hours of stuff on that. But now I've got like a pretty good handle on it. And you can get such great profiles as well. Like a bunch of like great producers make profiles, like artists make profiles, and it's just like, you can make your own. It's just it's so, I don't know. Like for me, I just find it pretty amazing. But there are purists out there that would shoot me.
We're Helix guys.
Yeah, we both have Helix, and they've been.
See, you know, there's a bunch of other ones as well of like all the other different versions. So I don't know. I just think that digital way, especially for like moving forwards with touring, like it makes so much more sense.
Yeah,
it makes things faster, it makes it more convenient.
It makes
it cheaper.
Yeah,
for transport and everything.
Less road people.
Yeah, you haven't got to like worry about tubes and valves and stuff. So,
oh my god,
I remember the first time I used it and got to actually hear my guitar on stage, because I never did, because I sing and play guitar, so I'm in the middle, so my amp was always like off stage right on the other side of the bass player.
Yeah.
So if I was lucky enough to get some of the monitor, then good cool. I got a little bit.
If the AC blew the right direction, you could hear.
I'd get a few. So it was like the first time I heard guitar, and I was like, "Oh my god, I can do what I play."
Sick. Yeah.
I'm not as good of a live guitar player as I thought I was.
It's funny how everyone comes back to that as soon as you're like,
same thing. Yeah, as soon as you hear yourself, you're like, "Man, I didn't rock."
I'm not that good.
but I will. But I will.
I will. Yeah. I really got to practice that.
Yeah,
that's awesome. So now you're in America. You're doing your writing thing and stuff. Has there been like you guys? You've been going at it hard for the better part of 10 years. So has there been like a culture shock when you like you're only there 2 months now? Was there like a real culture shock when you got here and you're just like, here?
I think there was more of like a. I was shocked at the lack of shock, like how normal it was. Like I was with some friends the other day, and admittedly we were sitting having Jimmy John's, which is such a strange thing to have like off tour, but it was like 4 blokes sitting there having Jimmy John's, and I was like, we're on like, I don't know what it was, like Sunset Strip or something, and you can see palm trees,
right?
And I was like having this bite of my Jimmy John's and looked up and was like, this is fucking weird that I don't feel weird about this. All right. But then again, because I think from obviously being over here so much, and like I'm living in like North Hollywood, Studio City area, and we've like recorded a bunch around here as well. So it's kind of like everything looks pretty familiar. we've
Right.
done
You have your spots
with-
anyway already, you know.
exactly. So it's not so bad. But anytime like I like borrow friends' cars like a bunch, or like I've got friends that are tour managers and they're like, you can have my car for the month, and then I'll pick someone up and they're like, are you okay to be driving? I'm like, it's fine. What do you mean? Like it's completely fine. But it's only if I'm in like a car park where I can't gauge like where the car, you know how there's no lanes.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I've been caught out a couple of times and someone's coming like head first for me. So
I got to be honest. If you
It's
come
just
to New
chicken, man.
York, come to the parking lots here.
You'll get that all the time.
You'll be fine.
You'll get it all the time anyway.
No, he'll be fine because everybody's just like they don't go
they
the right way.
crisscross. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
But yeah, it's more just being like, it's crazy how like normal and comfortable it's been.
Is there anything you missed that you can't get?
There's nothing that I miss like terribly, like too much. I had like a movie night the other night. I was watching that new Batman movie. It like came out on whatever it is,
Sick.
some streaming something, and everyone has everything. So they were like, "Come over and watch this." And I was like, "Cool, we need some movie snacks." Obviously, that's like the only reason you watch movies is basically to eat junk food.
Right.
A whole bunch of popcorn, and we used to have these, or we have these things in Australia called Maltesers. And I was trying to describe them to my like American friends, and basically the closest thing you guys have is this thing called Whoppers, or like
Okay.
Oh yeah. Okay.
the milk
Malted milk ball.
in the middle. Maltesers are far superior, but like Whoppers are like passable. So at the moment, it's just missing like different food things. Like I would love a meat pie or like a sausage roll,
Right.
like a little like bakery treats, that kind of stuff.
An iced coffee with ice cream in it. I know that's a thing. That's
That
a
is-
thing in Australia. That is not a thing here.
Oh.
That is usually when you say like iced coffee in Australia, they'll be like, do you mean with ice cream or like without?
We'll be right back.
This episode of Bacon is My Podcast is brought to you by drinkwildbills.com and grillyourassoff.com. Use promo code BACON to get 10% off your entire order.
Yeah. Grilling season is never over, and you always want to quench your thirst, and why not do it with some craft-made beverages by Wild Bills.
The two work together pretty awesome.
Yeah, agreed. So go ahead, hit them up, check it out. It helps them, which are awesome companies, and it helps us.
It helps us and it helps you.
And it helps you to
Because you like
live
to
a more flavorful life.
You like delicious things in your mouth.
Indeed. So
Do it.
go do it now.
Do it.
Okay. So I'll be like, I'm Mike and I'm Damien. Well, I like the consuming though. That's a good line. And we are Felicity, and you are consuming. Bacon is my podcast.
And you are consuming.
And you are consuming. That's a good adjective.
Yeah,
That's a good verb.
All right, you got it? Do you want to practice again, or you got it?
Let's try it. I'm Mike,
And I'm Damien.
and we are Felicity, and you are consuming. Bacon is my podcast.
Right. And at that point, does anybody go without?
Well, yeah, you said, no, hold the ice cream.
You're just like, I'm trying to be good, but yes, 2 scoops.
right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Make it mint chocolate chip.
I just stayed at that hotel that we did the conference in last week, and when I walked in, the woman at the front desk was like, "Would you like a warm chocolate chip cookie?" And I was like, "What the fuck did you just say to me?"
Yes, the answer is always yes.
Yeah.
Does anyone ever say no to that?
You walked into the, like, what to check in?
Yeah.
That sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed I didn't go.
Oven like underneath.
Right? Yeah. And she just handed me that. I was like, "Oh, what the fuck?" All right.
That's amazing.
So yeah, the ice cream. I can't imagine anyone ever saying like, no, just cubes, please. Just frozen water.
Just cubes of ice.
Let's just throw them in.
An ice cream swill.
The other thing I wanted to ask you about, because I know we have different terms here or there, and I heard a term, right? My girlfriend works for the Blackhearts, for Joan Jett and the Blackhearts, and they were in Australia doing a tour, and she was laughing really hard and enjoying. Well, she was enjoying copious amounts of the word cunt, which I love.
Yes.
But then also she said they're all saying shit tickets, and I have no idea what shit tickets are.
Oh,
Tickets.
I know what that is.
And is that a common phrase?
I feel
Or were
like
they fucking with her?
I feel like it's maybe not that common.
Okay,
No,
see,
that's not just. That's
I was
not
like, they're messing with you.
That's not an Australian thing. I've heard of that a lot.
I was having a conversation with my roommate the other day. Like I was heading out, and I was like, "All right, mate, I'll see you later, the Savo." And it was just like all mumbled through, and he was kind of looking at me, being like, "I literally have no idea what you just fucking said to me." And then he was like, "What?" And I was like, "Oh, like later this afternoon." And he was like, "Right." And then when I'm like, this is like an American way to Australian, he like messages me and he's like, "Dude, I've got some tea for you. Call me when you can." And I was like, this is bizarre. Like,
What?
like, but apparently tea is like gossip. And I was like sitting there being like, what kind of tea have you got? Like, are you brewing me like,
Right? Yeah. Like I've never heard of that one either.
oh, well, there you go. You would have been as confused as I was. I was like, tea.
Yeah, I would have been like green.
And he
tea?
starts
What?
on this rampage, and I was like, this is weird that you're talking about all this stuff when you've messaged me about like a beverage.
I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting for my tea.
Well,
Yeah.
usually,
If I'm going to hear all this bullshit from you, I'm going to need a drink.
right. Traditionally, a tea is going to be soothing. Gossip is usually not soothing. It's
Not as soothing.
usually triggering. Absolutely. So some of the other, we brought this up earlier. We got to talk about it. Mac and cheese. All right.
Oh, please.
So I've heard, we know Fleur, and you talked about
A beautiful human, yes.
you talked about mac and cheese, Kraft mac and cheese, but now you're saying that there's some art to it. So talk to us a little bit about mac and cheese, because
Well, I feel like
this guy is an artist with mac and cheese.
I'm a bit of an artist.
I feel like it's like mac and cheese is always like a great base. You
Mm-hmm.
sit there and you need it to be, it was like I was saying, you want it to be that like kind of like fluorescent, like it's going to literally like coat every like vein, every artery in your body in like some kind of like whatever the fuck it is. But then it's like
black light.
you can be adding like hot sauce, chicken. You could be adding like peas, broccoli. Like you can make it into like more of a meal than just like this disgusting kind of like claggy mess.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. Like they have all kinds of like buffalo mac and cheese. They've got like truffle mac and cheese bites.
Oh
like,
yeah.
People are going down.
But
on,
you
like,
want to start like you prefer to start with the bag of cheese dust.
Yeah.
Like that's
you want
how
to start with the
go
base.
there.
You need a great foundation, and Kraft mac and cheese gives you like a great.
So have you ever put lobster in? Like, cause like lobster mac and cheese is pretty.
Yeah, I wanted to try it.
Dude.
I think I've
It's
only
the-
had one lobster roll. Obviously, that's like definitely your territory up around the like northeast, northwest.
It is,
Okay.
Yeah, it is. It's a big. They're big deals up here. They're big deals.
Yeah,
up here.
yeah. Lobster mac and
More
cheese is
north
great.
actually than here. Not as much.
Yeah.
Where we're at. But
Yeah, it's kind of like New Hampshire area.
yeah,
so
Maine, that area. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, so this guy, the first time he made mac and cheese for us. So we're wrestling fans,
great.
and way back in the day,
And we like to cook. So.
and we like to cook. So way back in the day, I used to host parties for the pay-per-views. I'd invite a bunch of people over, and everybody throw $5 in, and the pay-per-view was $50, and we were good to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This guy shows up with $100 worth of cheese,
Oh my god.
and
it wasn't on purpose. I didn't go out to get $100 worth of cheese. I just went out and I was like, I have all these options. I went to the wrong place. or the right place. I went to the right place.
Getting bougie
and,
cheese.
Yeah, it was all there, and it was like, I was like, do I want to try it with smoked Gouda? Yes, I do. Yes, I do want to do that.
Yeah, and see, this is what I mean. Like, it does get into this art form of like there's mac and cheese, but like
Yeah.
the variety. Are you doing a 3 cheese blend? Are you doing some like a sharper cheddar? Like, you know what I mean?
But you don't get that with a Kraft.
It gets crazy.
You don't
Yes.
get that with a Kraft.
But when I'm doing that, I can't do dust. I can't do the dust.
No, you can't do the dust then.
I can't start there.
And my Instagram has recently become literally like tattoo pages or like food porn.
Right.
And it's just like mac and cheese ideas, or like all of my saved everything is just like different foods that I need to try.
I'll send you the mac and cheese recipe.
Please.
Just be ready. Just be ready for the.
Also queso as well. That's another. Like I think just anything like kind of gross.
Yeah.
I'm sort of around it.
Yeah.
Yeah, anything where you can need a spoon to lift cheese and
I gotta say, when it comes to craft, like classic craft mac and cheese, best edition is always hot dogs.
Kraft mac and cheese Kraft
hot dogs.
You take a hot dog, you take a hot dog and you cut it up, you throw them right in.
That sounds delicious. All right, I'll try it. I might crisp them up a little bit first, make them a little bit kind of like
Oh yeah. You can throw them on the grill. You can throw, or you can boil them.
Do you dirty water your dogs?
Sometimes I do.
What's dirty watering your dogs?
So dirty water dogs. Those are the kind of hot dogs that you get on the street in New York, where they've got a guy and he's got a pot, right? And it's just a pot of hot dogs and hot dog water.
Love that shit.
And
well, no, that's not street meat. Street meat is halal.
Yeah, street meat's halal, and anything that comes on a stick is going to be your street meat.
Yeah, we're a learning show
that you can't identify. You can't identify the meat on a stick because whatever sauce you put on it darkens it to whatever color it is. So whatever meat that is, it just is.
It's fun.
Yeah,
I've gotten sick twice on the way home from Hands Like Houses shows because of questionable food choices.
All right.
Fun fact.
I feel like you're trying to blame this on me somehow. I feel like when you keep looking at me, I'm taking this personally.
Well, he's also gotten sick on the way home from every other show because of
I was going to say constant diarrhea every Friday.
Yeah. No, you know what? So so Brooklyn, there was this like one pizza place open, and we went to it, and I ate it, and I was like, "This is bad. This is not going to end well.
It's bad."
And then I actually went to go see you guys in the city. I don't even remember where. But I went to see you guys in the city, and I did a little bit of street meat afterwards. And
that's my favorite part of New York. 100% every time I'm getting some kind of like
I love it.
Something
street meat, the street churros. Oh,
Sorry, I was just like out here. Like I still haven't got it, but every time I've been out, like you've got like people out the front and they're cooking like hot dogs, and they're always wrapped in bacon, and I just sit there going like, it's preaching to my choir, obviously.
Right.
Yeah,
that's everything I need in my life. It's just like a super crispy bacon coated hot dog.
One thing that I do have to say though, you do have to be careful because I find that a lot of stuff that's wrapped in bacon, they go, oh, well, it's wrapped in bacon. And you're like, yes. But the bacon itself is still like, it's not crispy at all.
Yeah, the outside
kind
is
of like
always
rubbery.
The outside's great. The inside's kind of wet.
Yeah. Oh, yuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. You get that. You like
when you get that exact sentence next time I'm looking at licking my lip in downtown Hollywood, being like, oh, I really want that. I'm like, the outside's kind of great, but the inside's kind of wet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll thank me.
Yeah.
You'll try one and then you'll try it and you'll take a bite and you'll go, God damn, the inside's kind of wet.
Like if you ever go to a fancy restaurant and you get like a filet wrapped in bacon, that shit, the filet is going to be delicious. That bacon is going to be inedible and fucking raw.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
All right. I'll steer clear of it.
Safety.
It's weird to find things that are both burnt and raw at the same time.
I love it.
Also, since we're learning things, beef bacon, don't do it.
Yeah, not worth it.
Did you say beat dicking? Like don't beat your dick?
No.
No.
Beef
we
bacon.
do that all the time.
Like, yeah, totally be a dick. But beef bacon.
Oh, beef bacon.
Yeah, don't do it.
That's a thing. But
what is that thing?
It's bacon made from cows.
It's like roast beef formed in the shape of bacon.
It's not right.
But not good.
Yeah.
It's not right.
It's not right.
There's no salt flavor. There's no like any flavor.
Yeah, there's a mistake. There's something wrong with it.
Okay. All right, beef bacon. See you later.
Yeah. So don't spend your money on beef bacon.
Off the list.
But something that you could spend money on, is one of our sponsors.
You motherfucker!
Oh,
look at that!
That is a professional transition.
Hashtag professional. We have a shirt. We have a shirt.
There's a
shirt. It says #professional on it. We'll send one to you.
You can get it at Bacon Is My Podcast.
I'd love to be professional.
Yeah.
So would we someday.
So
Never gonna happen.
we have a sponsor called Pod Decks. They're pretty cool. They are decks of cards. They are for budding podcasters. They are for people who need to break the ice a little bit.
Right.
People who don't have verbal diarrhea like we do. And in each of the card decks, there are 50 cards. On each card, there are questions, and it just helps get things rolling, if you will.
Indeed.
So what we like to do is have our guest pick one of the decks, and then pick a random question from that deck. So, Alex, we have the interview deck. We have the interview deck 2. We have the episode deck. We have what the heck. We have would you rather. We have the brand spanking new what the fuck, which has this really cool old school MTV branding.
When I was looking at it, kind of looks like an American Spirit pack, which I'm about to.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that too.
I never noticed that.
Do that one.
Okay, and then there's also the. Let me just tell the last one. The last one is how dare you?
Just likes to say it
because we have to say it like that. So we're gonna go with the what the fuck deck.
We'll go with the what the fuck.
Also, great branding on that what the fuck deck. It looks
right. It's got
absolutely.
It's got like the MTV old school branding.
MTV
upside down. Very well played.
There we go. See.
God damn.
Yeah.
Nice. I love it.
All right, so Mike is going to shuffle these, and I will tell everyone that is listening that you can go to poddex.com. You can check out these decks. They're always coming out with new stuff as well. They also have an app, and you can check out the app. They also have some cool merch. If you decide that you like anything over at poddex.com, please use the promo code BACON.
Because everything is better with bacon.
And you get 10% off your entire order.
So,
Hashtag professional.
We've done that a few times. All right,
so we're going to fan these out.
You go ahead and pour yourself a drink. I'm going to fan these out.
I'm just doing a couple of fingers, nothing too crazy.
No, keep going, buddy.
That's all right. Well, I'm going to take a couple of fingers too, and I'm going to start moving them from my left to my right, your right to left,
right.
And you tell me when to stop.
There.
Right there.
Right there. What do we got?
Your question is, what is, in your opinion, the sexiest name and the least sexiest name?
I feel like the least sexiest name is obviously Karen. Like I don't know.
Definitely now it is.
Now it is. Yeah.
Ruined. I was having a discussion about it with one of my I met this girl and she spelled it was like her name was maybe she was pronouncing it differently. It was like Corinne. And I was like,
and you're like, no, it isn't.
Karen.
You're Karen.
The sexiest name. Shit. I feel like I'm trying to think of like hot people that I've hooked up with and exactly what their names were.
That's that. See, for me, as soon as that question came up, I was like, I listened to the last podcast he was on, and he likes to sleep with his exes, and he's gonna try and not blow up his spot.
I'm gonna lock it in.
You Ruby. Just blew up his spot.
Ruby's a sexy name, 100%.
Ruby's
a good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ruby's a sexy name because it sort of sounds like an older name. You know,
Ruby,
like it
Ruby sounds like you'll find that
like
that's pretty universal. You'll find it in an old age home,
right?
Yeah,
in
an assisted living, but you'll also find that in a strip club.
Right, exactly. It's not like there's some older names like that you're not gonna find a stripper named Dolores.
Maybe. I think that's
Beatrice.
Beatrice.
My target audience is going to be strippers or like disabled old people, like really, really old people.
Rich disabled old people.
Yeah, my target audience is strippers named Dolores. It's a very niche audience.
Do you guys watch that show Westworld?
I've seen it.
Yeah, he's seen it.
It's just Dolores, and she's the smoke show of the show. But anyway,
I'm trying to think of it.
So Karen and Ruby.
Karen, yeah.
So Karen's the sexiest.
Stay away from Karens and See if you can take home
I
a
also
Ruby.
feel like Stacy as well. Stacy is a very like a not sexy name. Like that just seems like danger. You know, like kind of like red flag.
Yeah, like that's like she's gonna have a faraway look in her eye.
Yes, there's something was.
You know,
there's-
she's.
Is that all spellings? Because there's a lot of spellings for.
You're talking
Stacey.
to her and she's naming your kids.
Also, I feel like if it's like guys' names, like George, like George is, you know what I mean, like, or like Mark, like it's kind of like just like real like
Mark,
just a little
yeah.
too friendly. Like George, this is made George. It's not like
I go
George.
with names like Chaz.
Yeah, but what about Chaz?
Chad, or Tanner. Like those are non-sexy guy names.
Chaz is
Right.
is the singer of the Lone Rangers.
Yeah.
So fuck you.
Well, and Tanner,
Sexist.
Whoa.
Tanner sells weed outside of the Waffle House to trust fund kids.
Of course he does. Of course he does.
Right. Yeah.
That is awful. That is awful.
I don't know. That's what we do. We make things up.
Yeah.
Hashtag professional.
That's what we do. So that's what we do, man. So like
Someday someone will buy that shirt.
maybe. I don't know. We're gonna have to send it to somebody for free. Somebody like him. And then maybe somebody will see it and go, hey, that's got a samurai and a hashtag on it.
Yeah.
Where'd you get that sweet swag?
Sweet swag.
Yeah. So like here we go. You're in LA. Now you guys are talking about moving forward with Hands Like Houses, doing some new stuff. I know that you guys are both like, you know, US based, and because there are more than one member in the US as well. So are you guys, has it all become a discussion of maybe doing this remotely? Because we found like a lot of bands are kind of just doing it all remotely, like obviously demoing, throwing things into Google Drive, that kind of stuff. But actually you're in LA, and
I mean, that's how we
people
kind
in
of like
Texas. And
yeah, well, actually, everyone's back home now. So Coops, who was in Texas, he's back home with his wife. So like, she's, I think, yeah, like everyone's like married, engaged, and has babies. And then I was like, I'm going to move to LA. Cool.
sounds like us.
But yeah. So I feel like we've predominantly kind of written separately-ish, like at least like get like a majority of an idea out, like the way you're kind of like hearing it, and then bring that idea to the band. Has been kind of like how we've probably had the most success, or like that idea kind of goes to a producer or something. So we've kind of already been on that remote thing anyway. And then, yeah, I guess with me moving over here, it kind of like more solidifies us, like doing at least the writing remotely. But then when tours and stuff come up, like, you know, like whether it's like a US tour, it's like I'm already here, or an Australian tour, like they're all there. So it's kind of like someone's going to have to fly somewhere, which shouldn't really be too hard, I'm hoping.
Nah,
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
At this point.
Look, with like the way, like how easy it is to file share, and like we were talking about before about how easy it is to create songs, it's like everything's just at your fingertips. So it's like the fact that I'm over there, or even if we had someone else that was randomly like in the UK or Europe or something like that, like it doesn't really create that many roadblocks. Just with the ease and how we've been doing things already, like it's already been kind of like we run a bunch of things through this thing called like Asana, which I guess is like it's like a project management website, and you can put like all these kind of like Google Drive, but like you can add more like annotations to things and like set people tasks and stuff like that. So we've been trying to use like a bunch of stuff like that to.
So is it like the whole sending stuff through Google Drive and whatnot? That's already been pre-pandemic. That's already been part of your routine, or you guys more of a like get into a room and bang some chords out and do it?
I feel like we just distract ourselves, and like fall into kind of like jam band sort of trap. Or not like trap. I shouldn't say trap. But you know what I mean? You just kind of like start like playing something and then you're like, oh, this is cool. And everything's like kind of like the same, like 120 BPM. And you just
Right. Then 3 hours go by.
Like a Bob Marley hit or something. And you're like, oh, that's not a song. Whereas like when you come in and you're sitting there with like fucking single string riffs going ba da ba da 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 da, it's like that's not really like. It's kind of like everyone like learn the part, and then we'll like see how it actually sounds and feels.
Yeah.
So that's kind of it's been more, but also with the way that we've been like, I think touring so much as well. It's like we haven't really had like the time to sit down in rooms and jam. It'd be kind of like we might play, like me and Coops would like muck around with some stuff on an acoustic, or like me and Trent or something, and then we kind of like flesh the idea out on Logic. It hasn't necessarily been like, what song do we want to write today, guys?
Right.
Not like I guess it just hasn't suited our writing style.
Have you guys ever written anything to where like it started building while you were on the road, and it was like you were fleshing ideas out or something, or someone played something in a sound check, and then like a couple months later there was a little bit more, and then
yeah, for sure. I mean, like, funnily enough, so like our song Colorblind, I had like this riff, or like I guess like the riff,
right.
I was like fucking around with, and then it was like me and our drummer kind of like Parky in like a dressing room, and I was just sitting there with like a guitar. He was kind of like going over like beats or like talking through like structures and bouncing stuff around. And I think when you have it at like that bass level, I think that's the other reason why I enjoy like starting songs off acoustically. Like you already have like a vibe for it at like such a like minimal level. I feel like you know that as soon as you start putting more into it, like it's just going to be something special.
Can grow.
It's going to be something that has like legs or potential to do something. So
I find it's always when you start writing on acoustic, you know it's good when you feel like, oh, I could add this, I could add this, I could add this. And sometimes when you start writing as a band on electric, it's like, okay, what do we got to take out? What do we got? Who needs to shut up for a minute?
And I feel like that's especially when you've got everything loud. It's hard to be like, can you stop playing that? And someone's like, what the fuck?
Right.
What do you mean? Fucking playing the goggle. Like, so
that's
right.
That's for sure. That's like for me, and I've talked about it a few times on the podcast. It's just like, you know, I've been in bands where like we all right, guys, we're gonna get together on this night and we're gonna write, and everybody stares at each other and they're like, you got something?
Right.
I know it's kind of like a pressured situation. We like I can't remember which, maybe it was Unimagine. Like it'd predominantly be like I'd kind of like get like a musical base down of like rhythms and kind of like a few sort of melodic ideas, and then like our producer would kind of like tap out for the day at say like 8 o'clock, and then he would like set up the session, and we'd sit there with Coops, who like plays like a lot more lead than I do, and he'd kind of like run over like, do you think this is cool? Do you think this is cool? Do you think this is cool? And we'd have that space to kind of like try things. Right. Rather than trying to put it all in at once and trying to get every idea across, it kind of like piecing it together. And then like he would come in the next day, like the producer would come back in the next day, and we'd kind of review all these like different like iPhone videos of him being like,
what's your voice memo look like on your phone?
Oh my God, I think I'm up to like 1,200. And that's from like this month. Nah.
what we like to ask people usually is, what is the best song title on your?
Oh yeah, how do you title your
voice memo?
This is something I need to get way better at, because
everybody does, dude.
Yeah.
Like new recording 447, new recording 448, and I'm like, what the fuck is that idea?
What is that?
But yeah, like I mean, I'm just looking through what I've got at the moment, and one just says ballad, which is so boring. There's not really I think that's my worst thing of like if I don't title something until I have some kind of like lyrical content,
right?
Because even with joke titles, I feel like people somehow get attached to it, like we
to
it, and then you're like, oh, but like isn't it kind of this? And you're like, no, we can't call the song like Ducks or something like I don't know what the
right. I still have band members that call songs that have been released for years old like joke names, Like if I put the actual title on a set list, they're like, I don't know what song that is. So I have to put the joke title on a set list. And then like if someone sees the set list, they're like, what the hell is this? I'm like,
this is the other thing. I never really thought about it until a point as well. And it comes along with like obviously like songwriting and some sort of like I know this is like a bad thing to say, but like industry knowledge and selling out to the man and piecing all the puzzles together and driving Ferraris and living in the hills. But like this is like such a big thing for our first album as well. It's like the album's called Ground Dweller, nice and simple, but then like every song title is like a whole sentence.
Yeah.
Like how so people start typing in like, oh, what was that like song by Hands Like Houses? Or it was like, Don't Look Now, Follow Me, Act Normal. It's like, Jesus Christ. Like, why do we call it Act Normal? Like this, why was it all of this? And honestly, Dance Gavin Dance and Devil Wears Prada have a lot to answer for in that department.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
They do.
I actually, the only like super long title that I've ever done, and the only reason why I kept it is because a coworker literally like he heard I was in a band and he just walks up to me. It's just like this old hick. He was in Long Island, but he definitely did not belong there. And he goes, heard you're in a band. You should write a song called Bury Me Face Down so you can kiss my ass goodbye. And I did it.
Yes.
I did it.
I mean,
don't say it.
That sounds like a great country song title, to be honest.
Right.
I think it is. And he was a hick. So
it is a great country. It's not a country song.
Is it?
That you wrote.
No. I did not write it.
No.
But it
but
should
it is
be.
a great country.
He was a country bumpkin guy though. So yeah, I could definitely see that being in country.
Do you say that line in the song at all?
No, not once.
That's how you know it's good.
Yeah, and that's the other thing when you sit there and go like, people often don't remember the song title; they'll remember like the hook line.
Right.
Again, that's why people name songs.
That's why they name them hooks.
By the hook,
so you can find them. And
I feel this like you start songwriting and you try and be too clever for your own good.
Oh, talk to me.
You know, and then it's like later on, you're just kind of like, what's the hook? That's the title. There it is. Because someone's going to type this in when they go looking for it.
Yeah, I'm actually looking at the things on Spotify now, like Starving to Death in the Belly of a Whale. It's like, who's going to, what? It's so much.
He doesn't say that though.
No, not at any point in the song, nor does it have kind of anything to do with the song, potentially. I'd have to brush up on the lyrics, but it's just funny. It's just very of the time. Like,
yeah, definitely. Well, there's definitely some cool, memorable song titles, and the artistry is cool, and part of it was a fuck you to pop songs, and so it all had its place.
I just think that thing is also the funniest part about like potentially some of these people. I'm not 100% sure of your listenership, so I have to be very cautious with.
You don't have to be anything.
Don't be cautious.
But people sitting there and being like you're talking about Beartooth,
yeah,
and it's like, fuck, like Beartooth's so fucking heavy, like it's fucking sick, and it's like, yes, they are heavy, but it is like a pop band.
Yeah,
like
right.
But then people will be like, fuck pop music, like you can't fucking do that, and you're like, oh man, you don't get like it's so
no, yeah. You know what? It's like I get it. He's yelling and fucking screaming, but
it's hooky as hell, and you've got.
But do you remember that chorus?
Yeah,
of course you do.
Would you go away singing?
Of course you fucking do.
Yeah.
I'm up on a mountain, see them below.
We are fans of choruses and hooks here.
Yeah,
Bacon is my podcast.
Hooks
are our bacon.
Our motto, because we actually we write music together as well. Like we're in two different bands, but we also play music together as well. We write, and our motto is the hook's got to be catchy as fuck.
Yeah,
always.
That's it.
Yeah,
catchy as fuck. That's it. That's all the chorus is.
And there needs to be something. There always needs to be something, some kind of like little earworm to some degree.
Yeah. What are people going to remember? And that hook's got to be in other parts. Guitar's got to do that hook sometime. There's got to be a backup vocal that does that hook. Keyboards got to do that hook.
Yeah.
Wherever it is.
First verse, same as second verse. Crazy.
Same as second verse. Yeah. Bring it back around. How fast did you get to that chorus? Minute and a half? Rewrite it.
Awesome.
It used to be 55 seconds. That was like bang on, like perfect chorus time. Now I think
right.
it's 30 seconds.
30 seconds or something like that.
Is it really?
Yeah. If you write
fuck.
if your first verse is like 4 measures, it's like, okay, cut that shit in half. And you're like, but the story, and they're like, no one cares. Like,
Nobody cares about this.
This is obviously me being like far too like, in the
of course,
the songwriting space. When you approach stuff with hands like houses, like it's completely different. Like, but it's
no. But we've tried and we've done like other stuff with other people and for other people and stuff like that. And that's shit we got to know. Like if it's 30 seconds now, goddamn, like really?
Well, you know what? That 2-measure guitar intro is badass and it has to stay there. So
that is, but sometimes that's
so you can wait because that's a hook. Because that's a hook too.
Yeah, there's no.
But you got to bring it back.
There's nothing written in stone. It's just
that's that's the other thing. Learn all the rules so you can break all the rules, and then remember which ones need to come back.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. All right, Alex, we've taken up a lot of your time.
Yes, thank you.
Good. It was great talking to you guys.
Yeah. So before we sign off here, please let all of our consumers, because we call them consumers because they don't just listen on
Consume bacon.
Yes.
Well, yeah, they consume bacon, but yeah, you can consume bacon, but they watch it on video, they listen on audio. So we call them consumers. Just let them know where they can find everything you and Hands Like Houses.
Everything me personally is basically just Instagram. I don't really use anything else. So it's at Alex Austin HLH.
Tattoos and food porn.
And yeah, it's lots of food porn. And then everything Hands Like Houses. We obviously have Spotify, Hands Like Houses, Apple Music, all those streaming services. We've got Facebook, which we're on a fair bit, and then Instagram. It's all just Hands Like Houses, the band name. And we're gonna have some new music coming out soon, which is gonna be sick.
Whoop, whoop.
Nice. We'll definitely let you guys know when that is coming. So stay tuned with us, and also follow Hands Like Houses. Follow, share, do all the things.
Do it.
Do all the things. Break the algorithms because they suck.
Go see them when they finally tour again.
Yeah, go see them live.
Yeah,
I've seen them a number of times. It's great.
Live alive.
It's fantastic.
It is fun. I definitely actually miss it. I didn't think I wanted to go on tour again, but then I started seeing live shows and was like, I'm jealous. Let's go.
Yeah.
I think I'm in the minority. I legit think I'm in the minority.
You might be.
Because I started seeing live shows again, and I'm just like, oh, okay. Oh, wait, I got to deal with a promoter? No. Oh, tickets? Nah.
Yeah, look,
Hard pass.
I've just chosen to ignore a lot of aspects of touring and to be like,
right.
That looks like fun.
Well, that like 30 to 75 minutes on stage is pure bliss.
Yes.
So
yeah,
I guess
more of that.
I haven't had that. I got my first show and I was like, is it okay? the whole time. That's why I don't want to do it again. All right, guys. So thank you guys for joining us. Thank you, Alex, for hanging out. And always, please remember, here's the test.
Yeah.
What's the question?
The most important question.
The most important question that you always need to ask yourself.
What is my bacon?
Fuck yeah. What's your bacon?
Oh, my class.
Long-term test, baby. They got it.
Memory loss is not real. It's a figment.
We'll see you guys next time. Thanks for hanging out. What's your bacon? Welcome back. Hopefully this is working.
I hope so.
I wish we could see, but we can't, which is okay. That's all right. So
you can see that, but that doesn't mean anything because that was working before.
Frozen. It's not frozen.
No, but it was working before. It was moving before.
Okay.
Yeah, so it doesn't really matter. But either way,
you enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it. We hope you guys enjoyed it.
You definitely enjoyed it.
Yeah, absolutely.
If nothing else, he's got an Australian accent. It's so nice.
Yeah, unless you're from Australia, and then we have American
annoying
accents, which is
from
not.
America.
That's nice. Yeah,
America.
Fuck yeah.
Jimsy.
Yes, sir.
Jimsy, where can they find anything that has to do with you and your things?
Not really many places. I don't do much anymore. But if you want to take a look and see kind of what I'm up to. You can find me, Jimmy G's Shoes, on all the socials. I will be doing things from time to time. I'll be putting a lot of podcast stuff up. And when my band Craven Strange puts stuff up, you can find it there. And you can also find it at cravenstrange.net, where you can check out all of our links to all of our socials, all of our music, and all of our stuff, like our Spotify and Apple stuff, where you can also find Bacon Is My Passion.
Which is a wonderful little musical duo.
Yeah.
Comprised of this guy.
Yeah.
And me.
Yeah. Couple of dicks.
Couple of dicks.
Dicks. That means two.
Yeah.
Or the sequel. We're the sequel to just one of us.
Sure.
It doesn't work that way.
Okay.
There's two of us.
There was always two of us.
It's more than one.
No, it's
less than three.
Yeah. You've confused me. Anyway, you can find me.
Yeah.
At me, my own self, Mike. Personally, I put podcast stuff. I have band stuff. I have my family stuff. And a little bit of personal stuff up there. You can also find my band at Something Heavy Music on all the socials, and we're available Something Heavy on all digital platforms, including Spotify, Apple Music, Deezer, Amazon Music.
Everywhere. Stay in the conversation
everywhere.
By using the hashtag BaconIsMyPod or the hashtag BaconIsMyPodcast. Always the hashtag What's Your Bacon. And let us know. Let us know what you like, what you don't like, what you're into, what you're not into.
Yes.
Send us your fantasies. Send us your weird quirks. Maybe we'll talk about them.
Yeah.
Who knows? If you really, 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 really love us and you want to help out the show, jump over to baconismypodcast.com. Check out our merch area, Bacon Is My Fashion. Grab yourself a t-shirt or jump over to patreon.com and check out Bacon Is My Podcast there, where you can get more episodes, commercial-free episodes, live streams, all kinds of fun stuff, music from the both of us. Everything and anything that happens to be our bacon.
Yes.
And while seeing what our bacon is, remember to ask yourself every day the most important question.
Wait, before you do that.
Oh, okay.
One thing I will say is I know there's more than 12 listeners.
Yes.
Okay. What we really need is for some of you guys to just take a minute. While you're listening to this, just do this while I'm talking to you, okay?
Okay.
Scroll to the top of your favorite podcast listening stream. Scroll to the top of the YouTube page and give a 5-star review. Give a nice little thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Hit that bell. Because you'd be surprised how much that fucking helps.
It really does. It's really easy for you, and it really helps us.
I went really slow on purpose.
Yeah. Beating the algorithm is a really hard thing to do.
And we need to do that.
If we're alone.
Right.
And we're not alone, because you are our BIMP squad.
Indeed. And as our BIMP squad, please remember to always ask yourself, go ahead, what were you saying?
I was saying, the most important question. The most important question, what is it that makes your life, your day, your day-to-day things, everything about you, what is it that makes it just that much tastier?
What's your bacon?
What's your bacon?